Weekly Outdoor Plus, a new and exciting outdoor show right here on Fox 55 WFXS, every Sunday from 10:30 to 11 a.m., presented by Bucks and Bulls Archery in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, starring new owner Gary Hintz, his youngest son, the show pro, Jase Hintz, and the show producer, creator, and host, his oldest son, Seth Hintz. Now sit back and get ready to learn about archery and the world of the outdoors. This week on Weekly Outdoor Plus, Seth and Gary take a trip down south to do a little bit of shed hunting and get prepared for next season.
Well, we made her down here our first day of 3 shed hunting in west central Illinois. We left home, it was like 12 degrees and 2 feet of snow on the ground. When we get here, it's 40 degrees and no snow. We're gonna start our shed hunt right here on this first food plot. Work our way down, there's 3 or 4 more food plots, and then we're gonna hit the creek crossings and fence crossings and see if we can find some sheds. I've been doing this here for about 12 years now, so I know some of my favorite spots to look. We'll go see if we can get her done. Okay, last year it was late season bow hunting, and it was really cold, a little bit of snow on the ground. I was sitting in that stand right up there, watching this trail, which leads out to the food plot where we're gonna look for sheds, because that's where all the bucks were. And the deer started coming down this trail, single file. There's some scrapes on the field edge here. I didn't even know they were there when I was sitting in that stand. I said that's probably why all the bucks are out there, scraping along the edges of the food plots. And there aren't a lot of beans left, mostly just a plant. Looks like they got it picked over pretty good. Turkeys do a lot of that too, but
Even if you don't find a lot of sheds, it's always nice to get out early as soon as that snow's gone and track around and see where the deer have been going and what you have to look forward to next season. It's not always about finding that shed just like hunting. It's about knowing what's out there. Well, like my dad said, we're out here in central Illinois right now. He's just over this way looking for some sheds, and we have yet to find our first one until, but wait. First shed winner right here, Seth Hintz. I don't know about the guys that dropped us off, but I know my dad hasn't found any yet. I'm one up. Let's keep it rolling. It's a beautiful day here. This is one of my favorite places to hunt. And, I mean, we drove 5.5 hours just now to get down here where there's no snow on the ground, just to come and look for sheds. Can't wait to get back to Wisconsin and do some of this too, but that last little bit of snowfall kind of made it hard for us.
okay, this is one of my better spots for sheds. We got big bedding area down here, big CRP area down there. The fence is broke down, so all the deer, not all of them, but majority of them come right through here. You can see 2 big trails heading right out to the food plot here. So far we found one here, but I guess we gotta keep looking. We're gonna go down the fence line here and see where the fence is broke down, where the deer are jumping it, instead of just walking through, because where they jump it and they hit the ground or the fence, they knock their antlers off, and usually there's a few here. See the coyote down there? When we don't have a gun, we're shed hunting, we see coyotes. When we're coyote hunting, we find sheds. That'd be a long shot though.
Yeah, it would.
Maybe not for me. Some guys it would be. Just kidding.
Best advice I can give you that I've taken from this weekend is you could find these sheds anywhere. They're not where you would think.
When you're trying to play the wind on a food plot and there aren't any really good trees in the area where you want to put a stand, you just sink a telephone pole in the ground, put a ladder stand up, and you're good to go. They can play the wind on each side of your food plot, depending on where the deer are coming from. Got another ladder stand there, another one over there. It's kind of nice. Now I gotta find a shed. Now we're gonna head down the hill by the creek on the bottom, walk up and down the creek, check the creek crossings, and it's kind of a bedding area too because it's right off the top. Here's a food plot. We'll just go right down in here. It's thick down there and we'll nosy around a little bit. This is another reason why the younger deer in Illinois, Iowa, Kansas have bigger antlers. They don't have the winter stress like we do at home. When I left home, it was 4 above 0, 2 feet of snow on the ground. I come here, I gotta take my sweatshirt off. It's like 40 degrees, warm. The deer are eating good. There's no winter stress for them. I think I just heard one.
Stay tuned to see what kind of sheds Seth and Gary can find over the next 2 days, and scout out the land for next season. Hopefully we can even see a couple of deer while we're down here.
Before experiencing it, you won't know dependability. Unless you've drawn it, you haven't felt smooth. Until you shoot it, you've yet to be this accurate. The Matthews Creed.
Available at Bucks and Bulls Archery in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Why go anywhere else when Rookie Sports Pub in Stevens Point has 52 different beers on tap? Known as Portage County's best sports bar for live music and karaoke venue, they have 12 HD TVs, all sports, all the time. Keep up with their Facebook page for all upcoming live music and see who's going to be on the Point Brewery comedy stage next. No joke, they have comedy shows. Also, a local favorite for burgers, wings, and pizza, even free taps and rails on your birthday. Find them on Facebook and catch out the action at Rookie Sports Pub on 3425 Church Street in Stevens Point. This month is March Madness at Sopa Cellular, and they want to know what would you do with $5. Any non-Element Mobile customers can bring in their current plans and they will perform a free rate plan review, no purchase necessary. You come in with that plan, let them go over it with you, you walk out of here with a $5 bill. This month they're offering 4 different Android smartphone handsets for only $29.99 with qualifying plan. Stop on down to check out what they have to offer. All these offers are good until March 31st, so stop on down to Sopa Cellular today. First up this week, I'm proud to introduce Peppy, the shed dog that came along with us this weekend. She found a few sheds for us no matter how worn out she got. And here's one from Frank's Hardware of the legendary Andy Molsky helping me find some camo ratchet straps for our tree stands. And here's one of Aiden and Gary helping them get ready for turkey season. And here's one of Vanessa who came in to do the same thing as she gets ready to drop a turkey with her bow this year. And last we have Jason, Peppy's owner, with one of the sheds we find later in this episode. So stop on down to Sopa Cellular today and check out all their great deals, and stay tuned for more Weekly Outdoor Plus action.
Welcome to this week's lesson segment of Weekly Outdoor Plus. Jason's here ready to give you guys your helpful hint for the week. As I told you guys last week, I'm going to be talking to you a lot about how to tune your bow, super tuning it to make it so you pick out the perfect arrow. You have the right setup no matter what you're shooting, so that no matter what bow you have, you'll have it critiqued absolutely perfect for how you shoot, and your arrows will be the best you can tune them for the setup you got. Doesn't matter if you have the highest end setup or you have just an average Joe bow. Everything's going to work out the same. You just got to have it perfectly tuned for you to be able to shoot great. Easiest way, most people, if I say tuning a bow, first thing everyone's normally going to think of is paper tuning. But paper tuning, yes, does help you. In my opinion, it's like a ballpark figure. It's a rough estimate of where you are at, because it's only doing it right out of your bow, and you have to realize when you're shooting through that paper, your arrow is still flexing. When you shoot through a paper, another thing really hard, majority of the people, unless you've been watching all these lessons and learning how to actually hold your bow correctly, not getting all that hand torque in the front, that right there is going to make your tear or break your tear. It's not good. All right, you have to have it perfect grip. If you have any sort of torque on it, you're gonna be ripping right, left. If you jerk at the end up or down, you're gonna be tearing the crap out of that paper, and it's not gonna be easy to fix, all right? So, paper tuning, yes, do it. Biggest thing, a lot of people step up to that paper and they're like 3 feet away. Problem with that is when you pull back and you're at full draw, you lose about a foot, foot and a half right there. How long's your arrow? You're looking at 30-inch arrow. There's another 2 feet. You're gonna be hitting that paper before it fully leaves your bow. That already, you know, it's gonna affect how you're moving on your paper. It's gonna be tearing 8 times worse than what it really is. So make sure you're, you know, a good 5, 6, 7 feet away from that paper, and make sure, again, when you take that shot, watch your bow. Make sure it goes straight through the target. You're not going up and down, left or right, no hand torque, anything like that. All right. When you're tearing up or down, left or right, what you gotta do is you gotta check out where the point is hitting the paper. So if the point of your arrow, say, is to the left, you need to move your rest to the right to bring it back to where your fletchings are, all right? If you think about it, I mean, it's pretty basic stuff. Just think about when your arrow flings out of here, which way it's going. Next thing that I highly recommend over paper tuning is walk back tuning. This is the biggest thing. This is what I'd like to cover the most on because, in my opinion, it's gonna make you shoot 100% differently. When you're shooting you sight in your bow at 20 yards, and most of you are gonna have stationary pins. It's gonna be 3 to 5 vertically up and down. Say you sight in at 30 yards, when you come up to 20, you'll be shooting right or left, and then when you go back to 40, again, you'll be shooting, say you're shooting left at 20, at 40, you'll be shooting to the right. Why is this happening, you ask? It's most of the time because your arrow is flying sideways out of your bow, very little bit, but it'll make it, you know, inch different at 20 and 4 inches different at 40, depending how drastic it is. When you do this, the easiest way to solve your problems here that I've learned is you take anything like a string, you put a metal piece into the target and have your string hanging with something on the end that'll weight it down so it's hanging truly straight down. Another way that I do it, just eyeballing, is I take electrical tape, put it on cardboard on my target so it's perfectly straight up and down or as close as I can possibly get it. When you do this now, you're gonna start at 10 yards or wherever you're comfortable. If you can do 20, 30, that's very good. Easiest way to start anyways is gonna be 10 to 20. Step up at 10 yards, shoot at that string or a piece of tape that's hanging there, and you need to move your sights right and left so you hit dead center. Another key to this is one arrow. A lot of people empty their quiver on that thing and take the average. No, every arrow is gonna fly a little bit differently, and you need to use one arrow. So you take that one shot, you're gonna end up looking at where you're hitting that target. Once you figure out, okay, I'm touching the left side, turn it a couple clicks, take your Allen wrench, slide it out just a little bit, make sure you're dead center. All right, once you have this, you're gonna step back to 20, and again, you're gonna take one shot. If you're right on at 10 yards, you walk back to 20, I'll put a bet 90% of you people watching are gonna shoot right or left, guaranteed. That's just how it works. It might be an inch, might be a half inch, might be a quarter inch, but the farther you get out, the bigger that is gonna be, all right? So say you shoot at 10 yards, you're right on. You back up to 20, you shoot, you're to the right. What do you gotta do? You gotta move your rest. You gotta move it to the left. Very, very micro adjustable. I mean, majority of yours will have little lines on the back here. I'd start out, if you're with inch or less, one line, all right? Then you step back up at 10 yards, you do the process all over again. You step up to 10, you're gonna be shooting to the left. You're gonna move your sight a little bit. You're gonna sight in, step back, take that one shot. If you're not a good shot, you know, maybe take another one if you're not positive. Once you figure out, okay, you know, I'm halfway there, move it that little bit more. This is where you get your left and rights, and this is where a lot of people struggle, clipping that shoulder blade, hitting it in the guts. That's the difference between vitals, wounding it, tracking it. You don't want to have to do that, that's for sure. So that's one, in my opinion, best way is to tune your bow. Finally, the last one I'd like to tell you about is when you're gonna group tune your bow. This is where you can decide exactly how to make your arrows all pattern as tight as you can possibly get them. A lot of people, big macho men, or you know, think I can crank it up to 70 pounds. But you know what? That's not always perfect for the arrow that you're shooting. All right, I always start, normally I'll shoot it at I have a 60-pound bow. I'll set it up at probably 56 pounds. I'll pull back and I'll shoot all of my arrows at 30 yards at a blank sheet of paper. Or at a target, whatever you're more comfortable at aiming at. I like a blank sheet of paper, aiming right at the middle. Next thing you do, go pull your arrows out, turn your limbs up or down 1 pound. Do the same thing again. See how tight your group gets. If it gets wider or smaller, whatever it is, go the opposite way or the same way to benefit your pattern. Get it as tight as you can. This right here is just a simple way of basically figuring out the flex of your arrow and make it flex exactly the same for all of your arrows or as close to the same as you can. I've seen this make a difference from hitting a baseball at 30 yards to hitting a golf ball with 10 arrows. All right, that's a big deal. You know, that's being more consistent is everything that we're going for. That's what the sport of archery is, and that's one way to get you better. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean by doing all of this. A couple different rest styles. A lot of your rests are a lot harder to move than others. That's where I stop in here at Bucks and Bulls. Either my dad, Dan, James, love to help you out. We'd be able to, you know, show you exactly how to move it in and out. You don't want to be stripping all your screws in there and everything. Not very fun, kind of a headache, and easier way to do it. Stop on in, we'll help you out. If you miss anything that I'm saying here, there's a lot that we're covering. Check us out on Facebook. Otherwise, we're also on YouTube at Weekly Outdoor Plus. Check it out. Can't miss it. Pretty fun. That way you can go over everything, and if you think it's going to benefit you, which I guarantee it will, go over it, get it right. Otherwise, stop in, ask us. A lot of the guys here will be able to help you, no problem.
Hi, welcome to Frank's Hardware in Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
Proud to be family owned and operated since the 1940s.
Conveniently located on Highway 10, Frank's Hardware has all your general hardware needs, and we specialize in a wide variety of products, meaning all of your paint, lawn and garden, plumbing, electrical, and many more of those household needs.
Not only do we have a new one,
But we can show you how to fix what you already have. Did you know Frank's Hardware also offers a wide variety of services?
so stop on down to Frank's Hardware today. We don't just have great products,
But we have great service.
Real Deal Mineral. Deer eat it gone.
Real Deal Mineral is the real deal. Other minerals on the market contain up to 70% salt. Real Deal has less than 7% salt and more of the minerals deer need to grow bigger horns. And bigger horns mean bigger trophies.
I tried Real Deal Mineral for the first time, and I had over 1,000 pictures on my trail cameras in less than a week.
Real Deal Mineral.
Available here at Bucks and Bulls Archery, Stevens Point, or realdealmineral.com.
Why does your phone work so good here and mine can't even find service?
That's because I went to Sopa Cellular in Plover, Wisconsin.
Sopa Cellular is conveniently located in the village, right next to Menards. Stop in and check out why they have the most affordable unlimited text and data smartphone plans. They offer LG, Samsung, HTC, Motorola, and many other top quality Android market devices. Sopa Cellular has all your accessories for any style of phone, with hundreds to choose from, so they are sure to have the deal you're looking for. Make Sopa Cellular your Element Mobile headquarters and stop down to 1813 Park Avenue in Plover today.
All right, we're here at Bucks and Bulls this morning, and I'm going to show you one of the new products we just got in. It's the Carbon Express Maximum Red. It's pretty much a broadhead arrow, but it works just fine with field point too, but it's designed for broadhead flight. The front part of the arrow and the back part of the arrow is stiffer than the center, and when this high performance bows they have nowadays with the speed, when they shoot the arrow out of the bow, it actually flexes back and forth like a banana type thing. And then with the stiffer ends, the broadhead and the knock stay in line with each other, and the center of the arrow does the flexing. And then when it straightens out, the broadhead and the knock stays the same the whole way. It doesn't flex, and that causes a better grouping for broadheads. Mainly fixed blade broadheads. Like people probably want to use turkey hunting this spring. If you want to use the fixed blade broadhead, it'll group better downrange. We just got these arrows in here at Bucks and Bulls Archery, and if you want to come in and try them, we're going to cut a few down to try and shoot. We're going to shoot some broadheads, see how they group, and it's very important to shoot your broadhead before you hunt, whether it's a deer or a turkey.
Now we're out here in a heavily bedding area where it's really thick, and you can tell that all the deer have been laying around in here because it's kind of wide open. And found our first shed of day 2 this morning, right on this heavy trail here, and you can kind of tell that it is really thick in here and they bed in here, but all the deer seem to travel in these openings kind of like we do. It's a little bit easier, and that's why sometimes you can find them just laying out in the open here right on these trails. It's a good place to look. And now we're going to kind of walk through some of this thicker stuff in the beds, and hopefully we can find a few more that fell off.
It'll be a shooter buck in about 2 or 3 years. Pretty good mass for a little guy, huh? This thing stuck out like a sore thumb, as white as it is. Well, I guess there has to be a few small bucks if there's going to be some big bucks in the future. This one will grow up. Somebody's going to shoot him.
Peppy, where's the sheds?
After a little help from Peppy and a few more miles under our belts, it was starting to shape up to the successful 3-day shed hunting trip we had hoped for.
Extend your hunting season from fall to spring out shed hunting just before the turkey season starts. So we had a pretty good day yesterday. We found a lot of sheds. The day before, just a couple. Today we didn't really look much, but anyway, we found a couple. Like this one here we nicknamed a junk buck. He's got 3 brow tines and some forks, but he's kind of eaten up. At least we know he's still alive for next fall. And this one we had on the camera. It's got a little drop tine. Good mass. It's going to be a nice buck again. Broken off, probably fighting. So I guess what I'm saying is a good time of year to get out in the woods and look around and do some scouting. We found a lot of rubs, scrapes, trails that we didn't even know were here. Another thing we've found this weekend was a couple places to place some stands. We're going to come back shortly here, hopefully like in a week or 2. While it's still cool, no bugs, no crops to deal with, we can get some stands set up and trim some shooting lanes and maybe find a couple more sheds and get ready for the fall. This makes the guy want to come back October 1st, I'll tell you that. Got a lot to look forward to.
Real Deal Mineral. Deer eat it gone.
Real Deal Mineral is the real deal. Other minerals on the market contain up to 70% salt. Real Deal has less than 7% salt and more of the minerals deer need to grow bigger horns. And bigger horns mean bigger trophies.
I tried Real Deal Mineral for the first time, and I saw bucks on camera I never knew I had.
Real Deal Mineral.
Available here at Bucks and Bulls Archery, Stevens Point, or realdealmineral.com.
Bucks and Bulls Archery in Stevens Point is now under new ownership and has a new location. Stop down to 3272 Church Street and meet the new owner, Gary Hintz. His fully stocked pro shop carries Matthews, Hoyt, and many more products to serve all your needs. They also do all repairs for any style and full customizations. Leagues and lessons will begin soon, so stop in today and check out what's new, because we're confident that we can get you from in here to out there. Bucks and Bulls Archery, Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
Hi, welcome to Frank's Hardware in Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
Proud to be family owned and operated since the 1940s. Conveniently located on Highway 10, Frank's Hardware has all your general hardware needs, and we specialize in a wide variety of products, meaning all of your paint, lawn and garden, plumbing, electrical, and many more of those household needs.
Not only do we have a new one,
But we can show you how to fix what you already have. Did you know Frank's Hardware also offers a wide variety of services?
so stop on down to Frank's Hardware today. We don't just have great products,
But we have great service.
Why go anywhere else when Rookie Sports Pub in Stevens Point has 52 different beers on tap? Known as Portage County's best sports bar for live music and karaoke venue, they have 12 HD TVs, all sports, all the time. Keep up with their Facebook page for all upcoming live music and see who's going to be on the Point Brewery comedy stage next. No joke, they have comedy shows. Also, a local favorite for burgers, wings, and pizza, even free taps and rails on your birthday. Find them on Facebook and catch out the action at Rookie Sports Pub on 3425 Church Street in Stevens Point. This right here, though, is the best part of coming home from shed hunting. Is having all these trophies right here in the shop, at home, whatever you find. Play with them a little bit. We were fortunate enough, though, like we were showing you guys earlier, to find some of the bucks that we've been hunting last year, and now we're obviously going to be going after them this year. And we actually have pictures of a lot of these deer.
All of these. All the bigger ones.
And these in particular are some giants.
This one's going to have a drop tine next year, and I'm going to shoot it. So don't shoot it. This one's mine.
Don't shoot that one. That's okay. I'm going after this one. But other than that, like this buck we got, called it the Dagger buck.
Dagger.
Because of this big
horn coming out the back of it.
And our friend Scott shot a buck, and we thought for sure it was the dagger buck because it had the exact same horn. We thought it was dead, and we found it now, the shed, so we know this one's still alive.
Still around. I think there's actually more than two, because after going through a couple of trail camera pictures to compare these two, I found about 3 or 4 different bucks. The G2s are starting to split back like that, so could be an interesting gene pool we got running around there.
This one we called the Massive 8, remember that?
Yep.
I got a picture of him. Now it's broke off.
Still massive,
You can see the little drop tine, and this tine was about that long on the picture. But he's still out there waiting for me.
What do you suppose that's just from some squirrels or something?
No, that's broke off like fighting.
Oh yeah. Broke
I don't
right
know what he
down.
was fighting over. There's a lot of does over there.
He was definitely one of the bigger bucks in the area.
This one, remember this one, I called it the junk buck. Both sides of this deer had the same brow tines like this. And then one side was forked, the other one wasn't. But he's got a lot of stuff, a lot of mass.
Very,
not real wide, but it would be a nice buck.
Very unique. Well, and that's like I said, that's the best part of doing this shed hunting is we got all these deer now.
The squirrel got after this one.
Yeah, that happens though. But
possums.
Like this buck in particular though, how old do you think this buck would have been after looking at it on camera and that?
Well, I'm thinking it's only 2.5-year-old.
Me too. I followed this buck 3-4 days. I saw him 4 days in a row. Could have shot him 3 times. And every time I'd get back to camp and look at the replay video action of it, I would just kick myself wondering why I didn't shoot him, because it looks pretty big from back there, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But now that it's in my hand, I'm kind of glad that I didn't. Although I would be very happy with a buck like this, don't get me wrong. But next year, think about how much bigger this guy is going to be. Another 20, 30, 40 inches of horn. What looked like a 140-inch buck from my tree will be a 40-inch buck, 140-inch buck next year. Because it was close, but, QDM and that, this was a hard buck to pass, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, but look, good thing you did.
Next year he'll look like that now.
All these deer, you don't want to shoot them if you're not going to be proud of them.
No, and I think what it all comes down to is now we have a good reason to get in there the first day of next year.
October 1st.
Got to find these guys.
October 1st, and we'll be sitting right where we found these sheds.
You betcha.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Weekly Outdoor Plus presented by Bucks and Bulls Archery in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Don't forget to check us out online at facebook.com/weeklyoutdoorplus. See you next week.